Welcome to Keeping Austin Queered, episode 3. We are up in here on a Friday night, feeling good and feeling right. How are you?
I'm good. I thought you were going to go into like scene setting.
No.
Like we have our wine, the
Well,
candle
let's set the scene because you love a scene
I
set,
love
and
a
I
scene
always
setting.
scene set. I feel like for you. So scene set. It's Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
We had an amazing sushi dinner, catching up with each other, and laughed a ton.
Too much.
too much fun, too much laughter. For probably, I don't even know, why we were laughing half the time.
I couldn't tell you.
But that's how you know when you're with good people.
Yeah. We know why we were laughing.
Yeah. Well, I always say I've been told your vibe is your tribe, and our vibe is always up and just full of light, positivity, and good energy.
Good energy. Yep.
So this is your podcast with me, and I'm so stoked to have you. So everyone listening, this is my very good friend, Madison. And she is the L in the LGBTQ. Represent. What do I have? Where's my air horns for that? So welcome to the podcast. I am so stoked to have you. You mean so much to me.
Thank you.
And I think you're going to make such a tremendous impact. Not only just on on this podcast, but in life and in general, and who you are and the story that you're living and telling without even people knowing or recognizing it. So I think that's just super important of the representation that you bring to our community.
Thank you. I'm excited. I think that's what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, we got our wine, right?
Yes, we got our wine.
So I wanted to bring something new to the podcast and add a quick fire round of get to know you better questions.
Let's do it. Put me on the spot.
Okay. So I have 2 boxes in front of me.
Oh, no.
No, that's not.
I can't with you.
I have 2 boxes in front of me. And you can choose from what's it called? This is a Never Have I Ever box.
Okay.
Or we get to do a Let's Get Deep or Deeper questions. And there are a few icebreakers. So the deep is obviously, icebreaker question, deeper. Or Never Have I Ever. So what would you like to choose? We're going to do a few.
Let's do the deeper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you want to just start out with a deep. Let's start off with the icebreaker.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, let's dive in.
So, are you an old music or a new music kind of girl?
Ooh, I'm definitely both. I think I love old school like R&B, 90s music because that's obviously what I grew up on.
Love it.
But I'm also like keep up with the trend girly. Like I love the pop culture, Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae.
Who's the girl that needs like a chaperone? What's her name?
Chaperone.
How do you say it?
I think it's Chaperone.
Oh, I kept thinking.
No, Chaperone.
Chapel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, when she came to Austin City Limits, I was like, who is this girl that needs a chaperone?
Oh, she's like so
Apparently,
big.
but I'm not.
Do you like her music?
I don't even know what song she sings.
I think you would like them.
Do you think?
H-O-T-T.
But again, this is a TikTok song I've heard, and I'm not on TikTok.
I've been telling Sky he would thrive on TikTok.
I don't know. I think it's one more thing.
It is.
You're talking me into it. I'm not there
maybe
yet.
Just try it out.
Maybe New Year.
Yeah.
Maybe New Year.
I'll give you my login and then you can do your search.
And then all of a sudden you go back to my search and you're like, oh, wow. So this guy's really into food.
Wiener dogs.
Wiener dogs. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Let's get into a deep question.
Okay, let's do it.
Have you ever gotten a speeding ticket? If so, why were you speeding?
Sky.
Oh, God. I'm nervous.
I have not got a speeding ticket.
Wow.
But you know what I've done a plethora of times?
What?
Fender benders in the drive-through or the bank line. I forget to put my car in park.
Oh, no.
So I do what's called like a rolling tap.
Okay.
And I mean, it's probably been like 4 or 5 times.
No. So let's
like a McDonald's drive-through line. I think I put it in park and I'm looking down, and then next thing I know, I'm
tapping the booty of the
car.
next car.
Mm-hmm.
Is this okay? So I've gotten probably, have I gotten a speeding ticket? I'm gonna say yes.
like
Just
you're a good
maybe I
driver.
have. I maybe once. I honestly don't think I have, but I'll just say maybe. Maybe expired tag or registration thing.
I can see that.
If that.
We don't have time.
Do the cops come on that? Is the other person know? Are they getting out of your car? Are you like
Look,
exchanging
I try to
insurance?
make it as easy as possible.
Can
I've
I buy
been
you a
through
quarter
it.
pounder and some nuggets?
I mean, yeah, I've got some stories for it.
Wow. Okay.
Yep, but
All right.
that is my guilty pleasure
Hey,
for the
At
car.
least you're not dealing with the cops,
True.
you know.
True.
But I do feel like you would get out of a ticket if need be.
I'll put my lip plumper on. I'm good to go. I'll get out of it real quick. I can small talk.
Oh, all right. Now let's get. That was a
icebreaker.
deep.
Oh, deeper.
Okay, let's go into a deeper. What is your biggest pet peeve? Like,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there's so many like categories.
there's
I would
so
say.
many categories.
Let's pick. What was your biggest public pet peeve?
Oh, I think for me, well, it's so funny. Like after being pregnant, I feel like it changes over time.
Oh,
Now I'm like overstimulation. Like if someone is like shaking their leg at the same like bar or table as me, I am like going out of my way to like let them know that I know what they're doing and that I can't handle it.
Like, bro, take a shot.
Yeah, like
or
put your foot flat on the
yeah,
ground.
Relax.
I can't handle it.
Relax.
I cannot. Or like people being rude to servers.
Oh,
like
that's a deal breaker
just
for me.
on the topic of like being out
Yeah.
and about. Like I just don't like that. I don't think anyone's above anyone, and I'm just like, why are you being rude?
I always, and that's for me. It's just like, why is anybody rude anymore? Like
Yeah.
being a mean girl is so like not cool.
Not
Get
cool.
out of here.
I know.
Like it's not nice.
I
Like
know.
get out of here.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that is where I've been like lately too, of like, let's just all be nice. Let's all get along. We've all been through things. We don't know what they've gone through. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason why people are the way they are.
Right.
So
Relax.
relax.
I think America needs to take an edible. Like honestly.
or 5.
Or 5.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into one more. Let's do a never have I ever. And we got, I don't even know what this is.
Is it a wild card?
Seen a porta potty race. What is that? Do
What?
you know what that is? All right, let's do a redo. Never have I ever been straight up attracted to a cartoon character.
Wait.
There might be.
Oh,
Who is
honestly,
it?
Hands up.
Who?
Buzz Lightyear.
Okay. Is it the jawline?
It's the jawline.
And you know it
it's
is.
the suit. It's the butt in the suit.
You
like,
know, but this goes back to, I agree. He's a freaking suit. He's got the booty. He's got the bod. He's got the build.
I know.
He's got the chin and the jawline. But bro is slow as hell sometimes.
A little slow.
So it's like, you know what? The pretty boy, it goes back to like me being probably not the best judge of character sometimes. But, the pretty boy's like, oh, I'd do it.
Yeah.
He's pretty.
I'm trying to think if there was anyone. Oh, I saw this. It was on TikTok that someone was like, unpopular opinion, but I thought the Monsters Inc. guy, the eyeball guy.
Oh, the little one eyeball?
Yes,
Okay.
was like hot or something. I was like, what? I didn't see that. I don't see that one, but
Yeah, I don't see that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. If for me, I would probably say, I don't know. I don't know.
Jimmy Neutron? No, I'm kidding.
I'm probably thinking like princess wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm down for like OG, like an OG Snow White.
Oh my gosh.
Gorgeous, you know, the Disney princesses.
Yeah.
For boys, I don't really think about that. I would probably say, I don't know, Jason loves Pokemon, the Pokemon guy. Like the guy the guy in the backpack. He's like the one Ash.
Oh,
the boy.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, I don't really know either, but
yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Thank you for that to get to know you a little bit better. Well, so topic today is that I wanted to bring on this podcast is that you are the L in the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
And you're married.
I'm married.
And you just had a baby.
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you.
I think I just love that I've been able to be a part of your life in such an early stage in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Coming here new to Austin, thriving in your business. You weren't married, but married, trying to go through all the complications and it is to get pregnant, through IVF, right? Mm-hmm. And then finally seeing it all put together. I love that for you. Yeah. That just makes me feel like
happy ending.
Not even just happy ending, but a happy beginning.
Totally.
Like look at where your your life is just now starting.
It really is just starting.
I'm thinking of like, Lord, it's been, me and Jason 2 years. We got these these two damn dogs. I feel like we have been together.
I do too.
And and then we're getting married in a couple weeks. And I'm just like, our lives are just beginning of what it's about to happen. So anyways, I just want to applaud you for all of the things that you're doing and being amazing.
Thank you.
But the topic is that you aren't the typical stereotype of a lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would be fairly okay of saying that I'm not your typical typical gay guy.
Yeah.
In the sense of what people kind of put us in boxes for. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to go down the conversation of like your experiences through that. Mm-hmm. I guess they would call you a lipstick lesbian. Is that right?
I've been called all the things.
What other things have you been called outside of that?
It's not necessarily what I've been called, I guess. It's like how I've felt and how people have made me feel. And it's more so like, for example, when people say like, oh, what does your husband do? Just automatically thinking that I'm straight and with a guy.
Oh, wow.
And because of the way I look or carry myself or dress or I'm
Here's
blonde
a pretty hot girl. She must be.
Yeah. And to me, and I'm always like, oh, wife, actually, like not everyone, I don't need to look a certain way to be a lesbian. Like,
so let me ask you this. How long did it take you were you correcting them? And
I'm still correcting.
You're still correcting.
Yeah. Obviously I do hair, so I have a lot of new clients. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that. Or like even in the grocery store, if I have ledger or something, like people are like, what does dad do? Or what does the husband do? And honestly,
out of how many times do you just, because I'm sure there's times you're just like, it's not worth the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm going to bite my tongue.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. What is that?
Well, I think a lot of the times in my head is like, I don't want to disrespect Trina because I want, like, I want people to know that I'm with her,
Yes,
and so I'm like, I don't want to just
like hide.
walk over it.
Right.
Yeah. And I also, it's educating people of like, maybe don't assume like anyone, that doesn't just go for me, for you too.
Right.
I'm sure you've gotten like people saying, what does your wife do or whatever. And I think sometimes too, like we are kind of in a bubble in Austin.
Yeah.
And I think, even like going in different states, it gets worse too. And I just think it's eye-opening, and I don't have a problem correcting someone if I think they're being insensitive.
Period. Poo. Period. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you do that. And I'm glad that you've got into a place in your life because not everybody has, let's be, real. Like even guys, I mean, I know so many guys that are on the DL
Yeah.
and
Oh.
are, masculine presenting
Yeah.
and they're just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to like pull them out or closet them or do whatever, but I just think that it goes back to your saying of just don't assume.
Don't assume.
I feel like honestly there's just been so many times I've gotten more as I've gotten older and as I've gotten into the place that I'm at with Jason and now engaged and getting married and his parents are, obviously know and his family and mine. It's just like as you get older too, it's like, I don't give an F. I don't give an F. I do not give an F. You don't pay my bills. You don't pay my way. You don't do nothing for me, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And so why do I care?
Yeah.
I don't, and I think that I wish that the younger version of me, right, or probably the younger LGBTQ plus community, and again, it's not all the same, just really, I wish I really realized at the end of it, it doesn't really matter, because I used to put so much weight on what other people thought of me and what I'm doing and how I'm, carrying myself, my voice, my dress, my look, my everything. And again, it's just, comes back to, just being your authentic self and not allowing others to control the way you want to live, and that you are, and that you will ultimately be okay and be accepted.
Yeah. And I think too, like a lot of times, like I feel like you and I are very similar. Like when we go out, people know us as being like the vibe and the party and like the center of attention, and not a bad way, but also a good way. And like, people will come up to me like, how do you just how do you just do that? Like, I'm so shy or I'm so scared. And I'm just like, what are you gaining from it to, like just be yourself. Like you're not losing anything who cares if people are judging you? Like they're not paying your bills.
Girl, start the dance floor and let's go.
Let's go. I know.
I think we just think so. My boss actually recently told me this, which still resonates with me, is that all the things that you worry about most likely won't even happen or will even come to fruition.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's just ourselves putting our own selves down. And at the end of the day, if someone makes a comment, who cares? So I don't know, but I'm glad you are, again, speaking up and telling people your position and what you want to do. Have you had what's your been response as far as, obviously you said guys and the girls, and like, what about other lesbians?
Yeah.
Do they treat you any differently in that aspect? Because, I feel like the lipstick lesbian is like the unicorn, like the Abercrombie and Fitch football bro is our like kind of unicorn. And you just like, oh, we're all like this type. And people kind of like dream and like want that version.
Yeah.
So
I think like other lesbians I've had good interactions with. I haven't had any bad yet. But I'm also just like so open with them that I think they're like, oh, cool. Like they get it. They also understand what it's like to be different and what it's like to, be your authentic self.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any bad interactions. It's all been good. I think awesome. Sometimes, like, even with men, I have always had issues with men. Honestly, my entire life. Haven't we all? And yeah, I'm like, can we say daddy issues? I don't know, but like.
Well, so what happens? Obviously, guys have hit on you before, and you just do they easily go to like, well, can we get a threesome, or can we, I'm sure there's something these bros say.
I just
What do
think
they say?
Most guys, I will say like 95% of guys are just disrespectful as hell. Like, I just
Not surprised.
yeah, and I just like can't handle it. Like, sometimes I think girls get like they kind of like it. They kind of like the attention.
Okay.
Whereas me, I'm like, you disgust me. Like, don't talk to me like that.
Goodbye.
Or, they'll see the ring on my finger and leave me alone, or I make it known, or like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a wife and a child. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care for your
Yeah.
attention. I
Sorry.
don't want your attention. Yeah, but
Bye.
it honestly like really infuriates me. Like, I'm getting mad thinking about men.
Well, take a swig of your wine and we can change the channel. Well, I bring that up to say it's just, it's important for anybody who's listening. It's just like, don't just cross the line,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everyone has their own boundary and space. And I feel like you just got to understand that and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Well, what about work wise? Have you had any issues or different discoveries there?
No.
I feel like I flipped the switch on work a few times.
Really?
You know what's crazy is that, and this is a whole nother episode, but I'm curious to know if there's like, how you're like filling out an application, if it's like, are you gay, bi, trans, whatever, and then how many ethnicities are you? Hispanic, specifically brought out of that, veteran, etc. I'm like, do they actually are they hiring to be inclusive, or do they look at that like, we're not trying to hire a gay bitch?
Probably both.
I would assume so. I would like someone to answer that question,
but also like, as a hairstylist, like, I feel like it is more creative, so it's a little more like open and funky, and like you just have more room to be yourself. Whereas like, I think being in like, okay, I'm not going to say names obviously, but I used to work for like a heating and air company, like before I did hair back home.
Okay.
And it's filled with men.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I don't even think any of them knew I was like in a same-sex relationship, really. And I didn't feel the need to like explain myself, because I'm like, I don't need to tell them my life. Like, I don't care. But so situations like that, I just think being a hairstylist is different. They're creatives.
Right. And that's more of an openly LGBTQ plus community.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been on the other side of like, I don't know if they thought they did or not. I don't know. I can kind of run both ways, but my experience has been where we didn't know. Yeah. Oh, okay. Or we knew, or, and I don't go any different way. I am almost like, I wish you knew, because I accept myself for who I am, and I want to be able to say my fiance, my husband, my kid. I'm tired of that. Yeah.
So tired of it.
It's,
I know.
It's exhausting.
It's really exhausting, and I don't feel like people deserve to know.
Right.
Like, if you don't care to like take the time to listen or not judge, then I don't need to explain it.
Right. And we have to be a little bit more protected and guarded in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
any words of encouragement for anyone that is in that space?
Yeah.
And obviously for us being on the other side, what would you say? Or what would you say to your younger self even?
Oh my gosh. Looking back, like when Trina and I first got together, of like how scared I was to like quote unquote come out, which honestly, I don't love that term. I think people don't need to come out. I think people should just be able to be who they are and not have to explain the come out.
Exactly.
Like, I didn't like that. But I was scared and I was nervous what people would think. So I think my biggest thing is just like, as long as you're happy, like nothing else matters. Like, you don't need to explain yourself to anyone
at all.
If you want to experience things and try things and, be curious about anything in life, whether that's your sexuality, your career, friendships, anything, you should be able to explore that, because you are your own person. Yeah. Like, I just don't think.
And if you want to make out with the girl, make out with the girl. And the next day you want to suck a dick, suck a dick.
Yep.
Just keep it moving to figure yourself out. It's like, doesn't have to be a continuous explanation of who you are and what you're trying to do.
And also, I just don't like when other people judge you because that's not what they're into. Like, it's not your life, so I don't understand why you care so much.
Yeah.
Like, you have your own insecurities if you're looking at my life caring so much.
Right. I always say that. I was like, always say hurt people.
It's so true.
And that if you're in my business that hard, you must have,
you have your own issues.
You have your own issues with that. You know, that's
Yeah.
why I say, like, for me, like I honestly, again, I've been blessed in the sense that I've never been bullied or beaten up or had any like mean things happen to me growing up. And I didn't come out until freshman year in college after high school. And my mom and parents said they knew. And I was like, okay, that was it. And then I just kept it moving, and I never felt like I had explained myself. But thankfully, I never had that dark side of it. But I did feel like, you know, I don't know. It was important just to continue to explore and find out those things without being over-exploiting yourself. So.
And I do want to say, too, like, my family was so supportive, like, when I did come out, quote unquote come out. They were just like, it didn't matter to them. It was obviously hard, but they were so supportive and didn't question me or anything. They just were like, we just want you to be happy, and I'm glad you're finding yourself. So I was lucky enough to have a family and close people to support me. So I can't imagine when people don't have that.
Terrible.
Like, I get it. I mean, that's just got to be really,
because
really
for so
hard.
like how they think that we wake up and say, oh, you know what, November 2018, I want to make my life way harder than it needs to be.
No.
And I'm just going to choose this path where people hate me. I have to worry about my job. I have to worry about this. I have to worry about my friends and family and turn against my own. No, that is not how it works. It's like you're
well, and I always say too, like, I'm a lesbian. I'm married to a female. But I sometimes consider myself pansexual because I feel like I could be into anyone that, you know, you get along with.
Right.
But I always say too, or I was thinking to myself today, like, I would find Trina in every lifetime. Like, I just feel like she is my person, and I feel like it doesn't matter.
I love that.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't need to, like, classify myself, I guess. Like, why can't you just love who you love? Like, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's funny that you say that. And I feel like over my years, some of the bros that I've come across, I wouldn't necessarily say that they were bi, to be honest with you. I don't know for certain.
Yeah.
I know I love, you know, the D, but there's no, some of the bros that I've come across experience, I feel like I'm a guy or just a person that when I go out, I'm full, openly good vibes, good energy, and find a way to connect with everyone.
Yeah, you do.
So when I find a bro that happens just to connect with me, I get this honestly intuition and vibe that I would say, I'd be gay for Sky for the day or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's just like,
I see what you're saying.
I connect. I'm having such a good time. We're laughing. We're dancing. We're kicking it off. And I just genuinely connect and vibe with this person. Not making him gay. Not making him bi. Not making him anything other than I think this person's cool.
Like,
and
you're just vibing off them.
and I would just hang out with them like that, you know?
Yeah.
So to say what you're saying with the pansexual thing, I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
But I can see how that goes
you just go
for
off
people.
like a vibe and how you're getting along, and, you know, you just love who you love.
You love who you love.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, any other specifics to that topic as far as being lesbian as a lipstick lesbian? Any other challenges you experienced or anything? What's it? I mean, I don't want you to speak obviously for Trina, but like, has there any been differences through that when you're together versus just you solo?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think, like, obviously Trina and I don't want to ever speak for Trina because she has her own experiences.
And she will be on our podcast, and I cannot wait for
it.
Open up. We love you, Trina.
Yeah, and she will be an open book. I know that,
yes.
but I don't want to speak for her. But I know when we're out together, like we get looks, and I know people are like, oh, how did people have even said to Trina in front of me, like, how did you pull her? Speaking like, how did they pull me?
Well, damn.
And I maybe for her, like, maybe she's like, can I cuss?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course, it says explicit on here. I said it in my intro. This will be explicit.
Okay, yeah, and I'm like, maybe for her, she's like, yeah, I fucking pulled that. Like,
hell yeah,
and I'm proud of that. And like, yeah,
Trina.
And also, Trina's a good fucking vibe.
Oh,
and
the best vibe.
So I'm like, and she's very like eye catching too for anyone. Just like she dresses good. She has good hair. Like she's stunningly
aura,
hot.
Yes, all things.
Yeah, but people definitely look at us, and I think for her, like, it's a whole other topic of conversation as far as like she is who she is, and I think. But
for you, do you like? Again, you have no problem speaking the fuck up and saying what you have to say. Do you? Are you the battler? Is she the battler?
I'm the battler.
Do you pick your battles? How do you kind of navigate that together, being a lesbian both lesbians, but lipstick and more on the masculine side? How do you?
I think it depends. If I've had some wine in me, I don't have a problem saying like how I feel, and I will if it comes to her and something upsets her or I know it's offensive to her.
Yeah. You got her back.
Oh, yeah. And Trina has to calm me down. And I'm like, well, how are you not more mad? Like, I am just stunned by how she can compose herself because for me, I'm going to educate the fuck out of you. Like,
Take them to school. Take them to school.
And like, Trina just puts up with so much shit and it just pisses me off how people are sometimes. Like, I just can't handle it. And I just want, if I can put my 2 cents in somewhere, like, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Hey, say less, sis. I always got something to say, and I will say it quick. And I fight for what's right, and I always tell Jason because I see on those on that show, I was like, Lord Jesus, please do not let me get on an episode of What Would You Do? Because I will. It won't be nice. It will not be.
And
nice.
Also, I want to say too. There are a lot of people that are really kind when we start talking to them. Like if they're like a younger guy, they will say to us like from afar, we'll think they're judging us. But then when we start talking to them, they're actually like very supportive. And maybe that's just because they're talking to our face. But like we do have very supportive people that we're shocked by, but we really appreciate that. And we love when
other people stand up for you.
Yeah,
your friends stand up for you.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's definitely something too that I love to see the progress in that. Is like
me too.
Honestly what happened recently. Travis Kelce's brother.
Yes.
You know
Jason.
what I mean? Or his name Jason?
Yeah.
That's like amazing. I mean, I honestly think he did nothing wrong, to be honest. I'm not gonna go on a Hollywood news topic. But it's like, dude stuck up for his brother. At the end of the day, he stuck up for his brother, and you're not like an asshole.
Well,
so guess what?
Yelling in my face.
I'm gonna take your fucking phone and smash it on the ground. Yes.
I'm sorry, but you're done.
Yeah. He didn't put his hands on you.
Yeah.
He didn't say, he
did nothing.
Did nothing.
No.
You just handled your brother's business and what any of us would do.
Also, don't use that word.
Yeah,
like,
get out of it. Get out of it.
Taylor.
Right. Like, obviously.
I know.
Jealous.
People just do things to get under skin sometimes, and I don't get
annoying.
it. I know.
Well, how not to go into another topic too, but what is now having a child?
Yeah.
How are you going to? I'm assuming that clearly being a positive role model and mother, but like instilling that the no judgment,
Well, I think for us, like Trina and I have always talked about, making sure like whatever we're doing in life is the normal. Like I don't need to go and sit my child down and explain like, okay, son, you have 2 moms. Like, no, I want him to know, like, this can be normal. Like, I don't need to explain anything. So when he goes to school, he's like, yeah, what's up? I have 2 moms and they're fucking cool. Like, I don't need to say, like, to my son, like, and I have actually had someone ask me how I would explain that to him. And I said the same thing I'm saying now. I don't feel like I need to have a sit down with my child about his parents who love him. Doesn't matter if they're male, female, trans, whatever they are. Like, they are loved. And it just
again, it goes back to what you were saying earlier about the over explaining.
Yes.
It's like, why do we need to make it a thing? It doesn't have to be a thing. It just is what it is.
It is what it is. And he has 2 cool parents that love him, and he's taken care of and nourished and loved, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
But same goes to anyone that has kids. Like, same thing.
Yeah.
No difference.
Yeah. No, I know that we've discussed having parents as being parents as you're aware of. I think there was a fear of that in my eyes.
Yeah.
Of, making sure it was a girl, because obviously raising boys and two gay dads.
Yeah.
But in my heart of hearts, our particular situation. And at this point, I feel like whatever comes.
Yeah.
And I've kind of gotten that own, thing hanging over my head. And just realize it, you can do it too. Because I see other role models making it happen out there,
Yeah. And I think, like, for y'all, like, if you, had boy or girl, like, to them, it would be normal because you're raising them. They don't know anything different. And sure, maybe someday they're going to get someone that says something, but you teach them to just, these are my moms and they're pretty cool.
I think it goes back to, you think, people are like, oh, well, kids become what you've said in front of them, what they've listened to, what they've been told. They don't just are born with, like, being angry and racist and all these sorts of things. It comes sort of from the source of someone else.
It does.
Yeah,
so you're instilling in them.
You're instilling them. If they don't know any different, then they don't know any different. Same for me, or we would adopt, and so whether they're clearly not our kids, they would be our kids because I am your dad and I'm raising you.
And they don't know any
and they
different.
Don't know, they would not know.
And you will love them.
Just as if.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, I love you so much. Again, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Sharing a piece of who you are and what you're going through, and making this world a brighter place to live in as a LGBTQ plus member. And I got that right.
Yes.
And helping keep Austin queered, because you are here and you're doing all this in, in a city that I believe will soon become a little bit more bluer.
Yeah.
And, you will be in a position where someone will, look up to you and say, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
And, hey, I'm, a lipstick lesbian, or, hey, I'm this and I'm that, and you can just say, hey, girl, you got it. I did it.
Yourself.
You did it. And don't worry about it.
Yeah. There's space for you.
There's space.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the labels.
Yeah. And I just want to say too, that I really appreciate our friendship, because I feel like no matter if we don't talk for a month, if we don't talk for a week, if we don't talk for a year, like, I know we will always be friends and have that special place in each other's hearts.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited for you and Jason, and it's coming up, and I can't wait to just be, like, fully present on your big day and support you and love you.
Well, real friends show up for each other no matter what, no matter what timeline.
Yeah.
And always, are there full throttle.
Yeah.
And you always pick up where you left off.
That's right.
And just that's the real
and different
chapters of each other's lives.
Like, we're all evolving.
What was crazy is, how the iPhone listens to you, and the Instagram and the Facebook. We always say this, but we were sitting across from each other at dinner tonight, and then the iPhone chirped up. I guess it knew you're sitting next to me somehow,
crazy.
and it gives you this whole Apple video
Yeah.
of all the photos
Yep.
and videos that we've ever been a part of over the years.
Yeah.
Together in a PowerPoint presentation.
And Sky literally said, he was like, I didn't even realize we hung out that many times.
Like,
there were so many.
Like so many Botoxed faces and
Snatched.
skinnies and snatched
My
and puffed.
lips were
And,
up to my nose.
you know, like all the different
like genres of
genres and evolutions of it.
Yep.
But yeah, so I appreciate that. I love you so much. I cannot wait to have Trina on here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm probably going to have her on a solo and then have you guys on together to talk about being
that would be
parents and new baby parents and how your journey to get there and what it's like now.
Yeah,
because
I'm
very
so
curious
important for people to hear the journey, because I think people also hear that I'm a lesbian in the same-sex marriage and they're like, how did you get a baby?
Right.
So I think that is an important topic to discuss too.
Yes. Well, again, I love you so much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for keeping Austin queered.
Thank you for having me.
And you guys enjoy the night, and I'll talk to you later.